breaking down the Vikings from the perspective of a former NFL General Manager of the Year. It's Jeff Diamond's Purple Report, presented by your select Minnesota Buick GMC dealers.
Welcome to Jeff Diamond's Purple Report, brought to you every Monday and Thursday during the Vikings season by your select Minnesota Buick GMC dealers and the 2024 GMC Sierra on 1500 ESPN. Available 24/7 on YouTube via links from the 1500 ESPN and Score North websites. I'm Jeff Diamond, former Vikings GM, former Tennessee Titans president. Our producer is Sam Bird, does a great job here on these holiday weeks of putting our highlights together, and lots of good highlights that the Vikings have had during this now 9-game winning streak, Sam, and setting up the grand finale in Motown on Sunday night, prime time, Vikings at the Lions. Everything's on the line. Division title, number 1 seed in the NFC. We really didn't see that one coming about 10 weeks ago or so, but hey, here we are, and it's going to be just an exciting night for sure.
Absolutely. And Jeff, look, I have no problem saying my age on the air. I'm 36 years old, and this has been one of the most exciting seasons of Vikings football I've ever had in my life, but one of the most successful too, aside from 1998, to have 14 wins and potentially a 15th win. You can't ask for anything better. So regardless of what happens next week or in the postseason, this has been an incredibly successful year. I could tell you AJ and Ross are kicking themselves that they let me do this show with you, Jeff. But here we are, and look, we're right on the precipice of a number 1 seed. Can you believe that? Yeah,
it really is hard to believe, and what a season it's been. As we said, now an amazing 14-2. What a historic game coming up in Detroit when you've got the Vikings and the Lions are the first 13-plus win teams to ever meet in the regular season, ever in NFL history, 13-plus wins. And that's going to happen. Vikings are already at 14. The Lions will probably get there against the 49ers on Monday night. But even if they don't, the game still matters for the division title. Doesn't really matter what Detroit does in this game. Other than the fact if they lose to San Francisco, then the Vikings could win the division with a tie.
Yeah.
But that's highly unlikely to happen with overtime and everything. So, as we said, just another big day for Sam Darnold with the GOAT Tom Brady in the house.
That's right.
And kind of a really incredible post-game scene. And I've been around the NFL for a long time, Sam, and I've been in a lot of locker rooms in my 28 years with the Vikings and the Titans. I've never seen an individual player hoisted up like Sam Darnold was. And let's check out this highlight and then on to Kevin O'Connell's locker room speech.
For everybody in this room, you guys just finished your home season for now 7-1 this year. And we said we wanted to come back here and make this place what it needed to be one more time, which is these people going crazy watching you guys play football. All right, competing it out for 60 minutes every up we get. All right, I know I love watching this team play, but it's obvious to me there's a whole lot of people that love everything about this team, what you're made of, the fight, and more importantly, your ability to go finish a game just like we just did. All right, so everybody in here gets one of these.
Going into the season, Sam, I never would have predicted the Vikings would sweep the Packers for the first time since 2017, and they're at 4-1 in the division, which is always a key to winning the division, of course. Can get to 5-1 if they can beat Detroit. That's just a remarkable season in terms of how they performed in the NFC North against Green Bay. Both 2-point wins, very similar. Vikings jump off to a big lead. Jordan Love brings the Packers back, and they fall 2 points short. Vikings make plays at the end of the game, and in this case, Sam Darnold on that last drive, and we'll see the highlights in a minute, coming up with some big throws, and O'Connell trusting him to make those throws.
Yeah.
That's really, I think, puts them in good stead as they head towards the postseason and towards this game in Detroit. Let's look at our highlights, courtesy of Fox and Kevin Burkhardt, and the GOAT, Tom Brady, was in the house.
Stole my line, Jeff.
I know. I'm sorry. You already said that. And here, first quarter, first drive by the Packers and a forced fumble by Jerry Tillery, recovered by Cam Bynum on Josh Jacobs.
Always a factor here. Second down and 4. Again, it is Jacobs. Right side, nice seam. First down to the 40. It's Josh Jacobs. Ball is out. Minnesota saying they have it, and they do.
That stopped the first Packer drive. Then the Vikings didn't capitalize on that particular turnover, but second quarter, 11:58 left, a nice drive orchestrated by Darnold and to his receivers, and did I thought, an excellent job of spreading the ball around, especially in the first half when they were really focused on Justin Jefferson even more than they were in the second half. And here is a 31-yard touchdown pass, beautiful throw from Darnold, hitting Jalen Nailor, who just runs past the coverage. Speedy.
Go quick again here. Second down. Has time this time. Loads. Going deep. Has a man. Nailor. He's got it. Touchdown, Minnesota.
Vikings are up at that point, 7-3. 4th and 2 on the next drive, and the Vikings stop Jordan Love.
Get the play off. Love looking, throwing, incomplete. Tried to get it to Jaden Reed, a little too in front, and the Vikings take over.
I thought that was a catchable ball for Reed. He did not have a good day. Only one catch for 6 yards. He's the Packers' leading receiver. They didn't have Christian Watson this game, but they still had plenty of talent on that receiving core. And Reed, the Vikings did a really good job of shutting him down as the leading receiver. Romeo Doubs hurt them a little bit, especially in the second half.
Yeah.
So the Vikings at this point have stopped the Packers, and leads to the next drive, and the Vikings get downfield, and Will Reichard had kind of an up and down day. We've kind of gotten to rely on him to be basically perfect this year. And he's been a little up and down the last few weeks, but on this end of the half kick, he's trying from 55, he misses, and Edgerrin Cooper, who's a really great young linebacker for the Packers, lines up offsides.
Right.
And so the Vikings get a second shot. I think in Green Bay they're saying, I'm not so sure he was offside. It was pretty close.
Right.
But as we said, Reichard got another chance, and the Packers tried to ice him twice. But then we'll knock this one through.
4 seconds. That's been about a 7-minute, 4-second runoff.
It's like the NBA. All right, we'll try it again from 50 yards out. Reichard up, maybe. Got it.
Yeah.
So the Vikings at that point take a 13-3 halftime lead. Things are looking good. They're going to get the ball in the first drive of the second half and immediately take it downfield on a great drive. And Jordan Addison, I think he's turning into, as we've said, a 1B. If Jefferson's a 1A, he's a heck of a receiver. Makes a lot of tough catches in traffic, is running great routes in his second season. Here's a great stop-and-go route that he runs and gets deep for the touchdown. Perfect throw by Darnold. Great stretch-out catch by Addison.
Darnold, some pressure, senses, throws, goes in, caught! Touchdown, Vikings, it's Addison.
Yeah, that's a sweet play, great play there. Vikings at that point are up 20-3. Starting to think, could be on cruise control here. Not so fast.
Oh.
And I think one of the plays that kind of turned the tide a little bit in Green Bay's favor, Sam Darnold had a great day, career high 377 passing yards, 3 touchdowns. But on this play, he throws into double coverage, trying to hit Hawkinson, made a mistake, and intercepted by Valentine.
Second down, 4-man rush. Darnold gets decked this time. Throws, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Carrington Valentine. Room to run. Valentine cuts back. He lost the ball. Green Bay saves it somehow. It was Brooks that got on it.
And you notice the good hustle by Jalen Nailor on that play to knock that ball loose, and the Packers were fortunate to recover it. But, yeah, that was a mistake by Sam. He knew it. You can't force the ball. You got to understand the situation of game. You're up 17 points. If you have to throw it away, throw it away. And that kind of gave the Packers a little life. They immediately went down and scored, and the Vikings at that point up 20-10. But I think one of the really important parts of the game was the answer, and I think this speaks a lot to Sam Darnold and his growth as a quarterback, that he's able to rebound from a bad play. And on the next drive, he goes 5 for 5, takes the Vikings downfield, and they score on this touchdown pass to Cam Akers on the screen. And check out the nice block by Garrett Bradbury, the starting center.
Play clock winding down. Get the play off. It's Darnold. Gets it to Akers on a screen. Akers inside the 5. Akers scores! Touchdown, Vikings!
Vikings back up 17 at that point. But again, it's the way it goes with the Packers and Jordan Love. He brings them back. A couple of touchdowns down the stretch. And one of the plays I think was a big play in that fourth quarter. The Vikings did get a sack, and they kind of cranked up the pass rush in the latter stages of the game. Green Bay really one of the best protecting teams. They've had only given up 16 sacks coming into the game. Vikings wound up with 3 sacks on the day and 8 quarterback hits, a number of pressures. And here's a sack by Blake Cashman and Andrew Van Ginkel. It's his 11.5 sack of the year.
5-man rush. Love in trouble, and he is sacked.
Yeah. So it's a credible play. I mean, you're right, Jeff. I think later in the game when I don't know what the change was, but you could tell Love was starting to get a little rattled. I mean, just the look on his face, even when they were going off the field, he wasn't having a great game. He wasn't having a good day. And that definitely contributed towards it. Yeah,
definitely. But he did kind of rebound at that point and led a couple of touchdown drives in the fourth quarter. And here's a 3-yard touchdown pass from Love to Heath that pulled the Packers within 2 points and started to get a little bit nervous.
Love to throw, looking, throwing. It is caught. Wow. Malik Heath. His first catch of the day is a touchdown. There's a penalty. Let's see what this is. It's away from the play.
It was 12 men on the field by the Vikings, which is unusual for Brian Flores' defense, but someone didn't come off when they were supposed to. Packers, as I said, within 2 points at this point in the game, 2:20 left, and sets up a really important drive for the Vikings to not give the ball back to Love. He's getting a little hotter, getting a little more confident at that point. And the Vikings on that last drive, as we talked before, a nice play, a nice first down play to C.J. Ham that picked up a first down, killed some clock, got to the 2-minute warning. And then a really nice crossing route to Jefferson, fit the ball in there on a perfect throw, set up second and third and 2. And here's the biggest play in the game probably.
Darnold rolling, has Akers. He holds on. Oh, not an easy catch, but Akers went down and got it, and Minnesota will take it.
What a great pickup he was midseason. Cam Robinson, too. He had a holding penalty in this game, had false start. He's had some penalty issues, but overall has played really well in place of Christian Darrisaw, who's really, when you look at the Vikings' health, down the latter stages of the season, they got Pace back in this game. Pat Jones sustained a knee injury, I thought, on a cheap shot where Kraft, the tight end, comes across and goes low, which I don't know why they didn't call that if they're calling Harrison Smith for a low hit earlier in the game. But as we said, I think that it certainly was a big play in this game with the Cam Akers play, and the fact that he had to reach down for kind of a tough throw, and Darnold had to throw it over the outstretched arms of a linebacker, and Cam Akers, as I said, what a great pickup. for a swap of a 6th and 7th round pick, this guy's been really valuable.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when Aaron Jones went out of the game in the fourth quarter, he and Ty Chandler did a good job, had some good runs in the game too.
You know what my takeaway was about that reception, Jeff, is that late in the season, in years past, good teams find ways to make those receptions. And the fact that Akers was able to dig deep, quite literally, and pull that from being an incompletion, I mean, that's a testament not only to Akers but this team. I think that's the mentality of a winning team, to see those kind of plays happen late in the season, late in the game. That's something that we should definitely be celebrating.
Yeah, and definitely. And the fact that O'Connell trusts Darnold enough to let him throw 3 times.
Yep.
A lot of coaches would just run it, make the Packers burn their timeouts. But he didn't want to give the ball back to Green Bay, and said that post-game, I salute him for that, because I just think the most dangerous thing is to play cautious, and that's how you get beat oftentimes. Let's hear from our great sponsor, the Select Minnesota Buick GMC dealers, and then we're going to come back and hear a few more interviews and talk about other games around the league and start looking ahead to the Lions Week 18. There are trucks, and there's the truck, GMC Sierra, with available features like the V8 engine, the ultimate luxury interior, and of course, the available world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate. GMC Sierra, not just any truck, the truck. GMC's continued commitment to professional-grade engineering is on full display at your Select Minnesota GMC dealers. Stop by and choose from our wide selection of colors, models, and trim levels. Our friendly sales professionals are ready to work with you so you drive home happy with not just any deal, the deal. So come take a test drive today. We are professional-grade GMC. Well-qualified buyers get 0% APR on 2024 GMC Sierra light-duty models. See your Select Minnesota GMC dealers today. Length of contract limited. Some customers will not qualify. Not available with lease and some other offers. Take new retail delivery by 1/2/25. Kevin O'Connell post-game, very happy to get that 14th win.
Yeah, we were, I just didn't want to, I just didn't want to, worry so much about the clock and making Matt use his timeouts. I felt comfortable with Sam in those moments, and I loved how some of those things married up with some other runs we'd either done late in games, throughout the year, or even tonight in the game. So I thought we'd get some edges and get Sam and his athleticism out on the perimeter. And then, great drive started to C.J. Ham, popping him out the back door there. And then we're able to get a great edge on the next one where Justin comes screaming across on the low cross. And then the last one, just burying that thing all down and sneaking Cam out there. That ball felt like it was in the air for absolutely ever. Sam threw a lot of balls tonight, and that one probably stressed me out the most out of his 43 attempts. But what a play by Cam Akers. To say what that guy's been through, I hope fans understand just how significant what he's been through has been and how he wanted to be a Minnesota Viking and made the play when we absolutely needed it, in addition to catching a touchdown on the screen.
Yeah, Kevin's referring to 2 Achilles tears that Cam Akers fought through and signed with Houston. Vikings traded to get him back this year after he was here last year. A very valuable second running back for sure. Sam Darnold, again, talking about the moment in the locker room with his teammates and another great team effort for the win.
Just a really great team effort, obviously against a really, really good Packers team. Yeah, a lot of water bottles, a lot of water. It was just mayhem. I think I blacked out, when Aaron Jones grabbed me and lifted me up. I didn't know what to do with my hands in that situation, so Ricky Bobby style. So it was, it was an interesting moment, but a fun moment, man, to be embraced by your teammates like that. And it's just it's always fun to be able to have that moment with my teammates.
And speaking of Aaron Jones, another good game against his former team, and he enjoyed getting the sweep.
I did imagine sweeping my former team. That's when I signed day one. That was my thought. And then I during camp, I'm like, hey, we got a chance to be really good. Like just after going back to practices, and when you're really tested, you're tired in camp. That can really show you who your team is or what kind of guys you have around you. And every day when camp got hard or we were in the grind of it, you never heard anybody complain. Guys strapped it up and went even harder and made camp so competitive. And I feel like that's what's happening here. We got close during that time, and you just see all the work that we put in come to fruition.
Talking about before, Sam Darnold spreading the ball around, including to Aaron Jones, and Aaron had some good runs in the game too, helped set up a touchdown with a nice run. But you just think about Jefferson ends up with 8 catches for 92 yards. He only had a couple catches in the first half. Jordan Addison, 6 for 69 and a touchdown. Jalen Nailor, 5 catches for 81 and the touchdown. TJ Hawkinson, who, by the way, did not play in that last Lions game. He was still in the final stages of recovery from the ACL injury, and he had a good game, 5 catches for 68 yards. Aaron Jones, Akers making key catches. So I think it tells us that Darnold is seeing the field well. He's working through his progressions. The offensive line, after some early pressure in the game, really kind of buckled down and did an excellent job as the game progressed in terms of protecting him against a good pass rushing team that came in with 43 sacks. And Darnold ends up only getting sacked, one time in the game and hit a couple times. So that's certainly a good omen for this week, I think, going to Detroit against a team that's not as good on defense as Green Bay, that doesn't have the pass rush because they're missing their 2 best defensive linemen. Talking about Aiden Hutchinson, Aleem McNeil. They're also missing their best corner, Carlton Davis, with a fractured jaw. He's still out. So I think it could be a field day for Darnold and his receivers. And as we said, I think if the offensive line continues to play well, give them protection. But this could be the ultimate shootout because Detroit, they come in with that number 2 ranked offense, and they can score points. They're number 1 in scoring, over 32 points a game. It's going to be I think it's going to be a heck of a game and a high scoring game, even higher than this past game. But Blake Cashman is a guy who I think has just been instrumental in this defense, and in ways that a lot of people don't see in terms of his smarts, the way he helps get his teammates lined up, and he's a playmaker, being able to play against the run and the pass. He had, in this particular game, 11 tackles, led the team, 1.5 sacks, 2 quarterback hits, 1 tackle for loss. He's I think, having a Pro Bowl caliber season, along with Grenard and Van Ginkel, all those 3 free agent signees, just phenomenal. Free agent haul for Kwesi Adolfo-Mensa and for Kevin O'Connell and Brian Flores, who are involved in that process. They've all been instrumental, these players, in what the Vikings have got to this year. Here's Blake Cashman talking about home field in the playoffs and what it would mean now that they're, as you said, Sam, they're on the precipice of getting that number 1 seed, which equates to home field, compared to a drop all the way to number 5. And then you got to go maybe to Tampa Bay, who's, I think, a dangerous team. Baker Mayfield is lighting it up. And so I don't know that that's an exciting proposition either at this point in time. But here's Cashman talking about home field.
I think it's major. I think playing here, like, our opponents feel that. And, we got to take care of next week first. But, that would give us a great opportunity and I think a leg up on our opponents if we can remain home.
When Blake Cashman's in the lineup, Vikings are 14-0 this season, Sam. He missed the 2 games against the Lions and the Rams, the 2 losses. The defense felt it in those games. So I think you look at Cashman being here this week in Detroit. He wasn't there for the last Lions game. Hawkinson playing. He wasn't there for the last Lions game. Now, Darisaw did play, and he's not there, but he's basically the only major injury. As said, Pat Jones, O'Connell said today he avoided a major injury on that cheap shot by Tucker Kraft when he went low, and O'Connell said he could possibly be available this week. So, and Aaron Jones went out of the game with a quad contusion, but he'll be back. He's okay. So, as we said, Cashman is instrumental in this team, and the Vikings are headed to Detroit. Who could have possibly foreseen this at the start of the season?
Nobody.
Nobody.
That's just
14-2, and what a year for the Vikings, offensively, defensively. Sam Darnold, Kevin O'Connell. Let's hear again from our great sponsor, the Select Minnesota Buick GMC dealers.
There are trucks, then there's the truck, GMC Sierra, with available features like the V8 engine, the ultimate luxury interior, and of course, the available world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate. GMC Sierra, not just any truck, the truck. GMC's continued commitment to professional-grade engineering is on full display at your local GMC dealer. Come take a test drive today and see for yourself. We are professional-grade. GMC. Well-qualified buyers get 0% APR for 36 months on GMC Sierra light-duty models. See your local GMC dealer today. Monthly payment is $28.16 for every $1,000 you finance. Average example down payment 15%. Some customers will not qualify. Not available with lease and some other offers. Take new retail delivery by 12/2/24.
It was interesting to hear the Vikings talk about playing a lot more man coverage in this game against the Packers. 47% man coverage compared to 11% last time against Green Bay. And it will be interesting to see if they carry that forward in Detroit. We know Brian Flores likes to play man, but the Lions have some dangerous receivers: Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams, Sam Laporta. They're a tough team to defend one-on-one, so we'll see what kind of strategy they put in place this week. Jared Goff having a tremendous season, just like Sam Darnold. Goff, 112 passer rating, second to Lamar Jackson. Darnold is fourth at 106.4. Darnold has 35 touchdown passes. Goff has 33 going into the Monday night game against San Francisco. Justin Jefferson, second in receiving yards, almost 1,500 yards at this point. And St. Brown has a 1,126. They're the premier receivers in this game, but Addison having a great year too. And Nailor coming off his career best day. Jahmyr Gibbs is a guy you're going to have to keep an eye on. He's got almost 1,200 yards rushing this year. But Aaron Jones is no slouch, and he's well over 1,000 too. So going to be a great matchup. We're going to talk more about that game on Thursday on our preview show for Vikings and Lions for Week 18 for all the marbles in the NFC North and the number 1 seed. Very exciting.
Can't wait, Jeff.
For sure. But going around the league, Saquon Barkley, he's got to have a pretty good year.
To say the least. Come on.
He topped 1,000 yards or 2,000 yards in the win on Sunday, and now he's got 101 yards to go to try to break Eric Dickerson's record this week. But not sure that the Nick Sirianni, the coach, will play him because the Eagles are locked into the number 2 seed. So we'll see if we see Saquon this week. I wouldn't play him. I don't care if you have a chance to break a record. He's had some injury issues in the past, and the playoffs are the most important thing, definitely. Some other big games. Atlanta got to overtime in Washington, couldn't quite pull it off, and they lost the coin toss, and down the field went Jaden Daniels.
Yep.
Another rule that probably needs to be changed to at least give the other team a chance, even if they score a touchdown. But the Commanders make the playoffs as a wild card, and Atlanta right now is on the outside looking in to Tampa Bay, who has to just beat New Orleans at home. Saints are terrible right now. And but then again, we thought that about the Giants on Sunday, and they beat the Colts when they had a lot on the line to try to stay in the playoff race. So you never know.
You never know. And one thing I was going to say, going back to the Atlanta and Washington game, Jeff, I have your seat warmed up on the bandwagon. So whenever you're ready to get on the Commanders, I got your spot ready to go. Just so you know.
I love Jaden Daniels. I absolutely think he's a terrific player. So and I got to say, I liked him over Caleb Williams coming into the draft too. Now we'll see how that plays out over the long haul. But I like Jaden Daniels over Caleb Williams. I thought Caleb had some bad games against some really good defenses in college, and I thought he was arrogant. And I like the way Jaden carries himself, and he will be in the postseason. The Rams are close to the NFC West title. They beat Arizona, and they will face Seattle, but the Seahawks are already knocked out of that race. So it's going into the last week. There are a couple division titles still up for grabs. Of course, the NFC North, along with
AFC North.
AFC North. Baltimore, with a win over Cleveland, will win the AFC North. And Tampa Bay can clinch with that win over New Orleans this week, whereas Atlanta has Carolina, but I think Atlanta is toast now. So we will be back on Thursday, and we will set up that fantastic matchup, massive game, Vikings and the Lions for the NFC North title and the number 1 seed. And this has been Jeff Diamond's Purple Report, brought to you every Monday and Thursday during the Viking season by your select Minnesota Buick GMC dealers and the 2024 GMC Sierra on 1500 ESPN. Available 24/7 on YouTube via links from the 1500 ESPN and Score North websites. This is Jeff Diamond with Sam Bird. We're excited for Sunday night, and we will talk to you about that game on Thursday.